We kick things off.
Yeah, Reno, come out.
El Paso quickly able to penetrate deep into Reno territory and an early opportunity. And Reno avoids damage in the opening seconds.
And Corey Hortzog just trying to clear it out there, kind of get their bearings straight. I mean, we're less than a minute into this game and already have one shot on goal for El Paso against Fresno.
All right, let's show you the Reno starting 11 now. Herzog and Mazovsky up top. Kevin Partita, the Sparks native, back in the midfield. Brent Richards makes his 120th career USL start with JT Marcinkowski in goal.
And this is an experienced lineup. They had a little bit of a sluggish skid last month, but they've definitely locked it down. They are coming off a loss, but Reno wants that second spot in the USL Western Conference, and they need to win tonight to get that.
Reno will send it all the way back to Marcinkowski, who is making his 40th career start in USL action, his second season. The 22-year-old from the San Francisco Bay Area last year was Reno's newcomer of the year, and somebody that has been a part of the San Jose system for a very long time, signed as a homegrown back in 2011.
Gotta like the pace that Reno's trying to establish early on in this match. Little takeaway, though.
See what El Paso can do here. Salgado on the run. Reno able to quickly get back on defense. 5 blue shirts close in as Salgado and Gomez. Salgado blasts one from outside the box, and Marcinkowski's there to knock it down.
Yeah, Salgado, actually born in El Paso, Texas. He left at the age of 15, and he has found himself back in El Paso playing for this Locomotive team.
Yeah, pretty cool to see that. Always love, I think, when you see these USL teams and when new franchises come about. El Paso now in their second season of play, and to get a guy like Salgado is very exciting.
Yeah, he can play both midfield and forward. It seems like he's gearing more towards midfield. They're a very midfield-heavy team, but I think that they like to kind of counterbalance whatever the attacking force that Reno likes to establish early on in a game.
Trying to break through Reno's midfield here. Not a lot of teams are able to get deep and try and get some shots on goal early here in Reno. Usually that's kind of Reno's MO, is to come out swinging and to really press on the offensive end. You're surprised to see El Paso being able to do that this early. You don't see that very often.
You don't see it very often. And you also like to see Reno, I think what we've noticed over the course of the last couple of months, they like to kind of score quickly. And, if they don't get that offense going early on, they could be in trouble in this.
El Paso coming out with a lot of energy. This is a team that does not appear like they're coming here just to sit back and try and play for a draw. They're being very aggressive here in the opening minutes. And this is like I mentioned, very important match for both teams. El Paso right now is above that cut line to get into the postseason, but nothing is guaranteed for them right now. And the way you look at it, this is an El Paso team that could finish maybe upwards of 4th place and maybe get themselves a home play.
And, a lot of things can happen in this last couple of matches.
From the corner, Ross plays it in. Couple chances, and that one goes squirrely. Gomez just a little too high on that one. He's got 4 goals this season, all in the box, 13 appearances for this club, and he's tied for second on the team with goals so far this season. Gomez, another guy to look out for at the top. See the aggressiveness again from El Paso, and they're able to take it away deep in Reno's territory.
And all Brent Richards could do is just try to defend.
Here comes Bosetti into the box. Centers it. And Reno able to get a clearance. Lindo Mafeka gets rid of it, but here comes El Paso once again as they organize on the offensive end.
It's been very impressive so far to see these guys just come out right and try to kind of hit Reno in the mouth and set the tone early on, especially for a team that doesn't normally attack this heavy early on.
You look at the way they've played this season, they're not a team that scores a lot of goals. We're talking about a club that on this season has been one of the worst offensive teams, in fact, as they have only been able to score a total of 37 goals on this season. That's tied for 7th worst. Where this team is excellent, though, is on the defensive side. We're talking about 12 clean sheets for El Paso. That's 4th best in the USL. So they have really had great defensive success, but again, offensively coming after Marcinkowski. He rejects that shot by Salgado.
Yeah, Salgado just wants that shot back again. It was beautifulness in that they can play ball with anybody in the USL.
Certainly, if they can come here to Reno and pick up 3 points, it would be a big statement for them and their intentions at the end of this season, trying to make a run. That one cleared away. Another dangerous ball as Gomez was trying to get. Powerful guy, too. Once again, instead of going into the box in the corner, they'll play it back. Now try and swing it around. Play it back into the box now. Danger here, and once again, Marcinkowski gets on top of it. That time it was headed by Andrew Fox.
Marcinkowski's so impressive, too. 22 years old, 8 career clean sheets. He's been such a rock for this Reno soccer club, and it's been kind of fun seeing him develop over the last couple of years.
Yeah, Reno's had great goalkeeping during their 3 years.
Big takeaway right there.
Here's Salgado again. Look at the size difference between Salgado and some of the Reno defenders that are trying to mark him. He's a big, powerful forward that has really set the pace of this match here early on.
Salgado also spent some time in southern Nevada with the Las Vegas Lights on loan at the end of last season. Back on El Paso.
Another shot on goal. Marcinkowski is there. So it has been a heavy El Paso attack here in the opening 7 minutes. Reno has been able to withstand it so far, and we'll see now if Reno can do much offensively. Having not seen El Paso a ton, awfully impressed with what they've been able to do here early. Chance now from Mazovsky.
And that's what Reno wants to do. Get the ball deep into Mazovsky, maybe if the header, a strike. I mean, he's been so dangerous over the last month. 8 goals in the last 5 matches, and it's very impressive for a kid who was injured in the early part of this season.
Here's a run from Hadji. He was trying to play it in for Corey Herzog, and well defended that time by El Paso.
I want to go back to Danny Mazovsky. He's an alum from UNLV coming up here to northern Nevada, and it's been impressive. Ian Russell said this kid's as good as any other forward in the game in the USL right now, and his numbers are not lying at all from how well he's done so far.
Well, it's pretty impressive. I mean, you're talking about in the open, 8 goals in the last 5 matches. Prior to that, he had only secured 3 goals over his first 16 appearances of the season. So he has really been a force to be reckoned with. And you mentioned it in the air as well, and that has been how they've been able to find Mazovsky for the most part, has been playing on this right side with Brent Richards. And Richards trying to get into the box for Mazovsky. We'll see how El Paso tries to defend that here tonight.
Yeah, Richards, one of the more veteran players on this 1868 squad. You can see that they're starting to push forward a little bit more, finally find a little more offense than playing back, which is what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, Reno getting a little more connectivity as they get one in front of goal now to Logan Ketterer, who has had a monster season in goal for El Paso. He has been one of the top keepers in the circuit, recording 11 of those 12 clean sheets that we had talked about before. There's a whistle against El Paso. Great distributor. Eric Calvillo hits it right into the wall. Galindo keeps it for Reno. Here's Richards, and El Paso able to clear as Reno gets one of their first chances to try and get on the board here early on.
First sign of life for Reno in this match. 10 minutes in, finally getting that shot in there. It's got to help confidence, right?
You can see that continued aggressiveness from El Paso. Gomez chases that one all the way back to Marcinkowski. He was trying to send one over the top to Herzog. See what Reno can do here. Lindo almost has a goal.
14 goals on this season, his 64th career appearance with this soccer club, and he gets going. That's a pretty dangerous team.
Lindo's been one of those mainstays here in Reno. 66 career appearances, including tonight. Who have been here from the very beginning with head coach Ian Russell.
It's been great to watch these kids develop too, and see their pace of play, and integrating new forwards every year, and just the same success for Ian Russell's club.
El Paso will chase this one down. Janjigian trying to close. They'll get it past Janjigian. More fight here. Salgado trying to find some room. And Reno is able to take it away. And boy, Omar Salgado, that was a dangerous spot to give him some space. And Reno did well to get it away. What can they do here on the counter? Herzog. Corey Herzog blasts it right at Ketterer, who comes up with a save.
And for another goal for Corey Herzog. He's had quite a year for this Reno soccer team, and maybe just a little bit more on that would have been in.
I'll tell you what, this has been a fun match here early.
Yeah, a lot of shots created.
A lot of energy out here tonight.
Wonder if playoff implications really are playing a huge factor.
It feels like a playoff match, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's got that kind of energy.
Would you be surprised to see both of these teams in a couple of weeks facing off here?
It very well could shape up that way. It certainly is definitely. It's kind of crazy as you look at the standings. It's hard to figure out how it's going to all pan out. It's possible. Herzog again.
Established early on, and that's, I think, what we're used to seeing from them.
Minute. We saw El Paso get several chances early in the match. Reno able to defend.
There they go again.
Reno's had a couple chances, and Ketterer's been there for the stops.
That's big. The back four just holding that line. Clearing it out.
Well, I think it's a back four for Reno that is eager to prove something tonight. They were frustrated in that second half against Real Monarchs last week, conceding a couple of goals as they were able to come in here and steal a 2-1 win from Reno.
I think that's been Reno's kryptonite a lot this season. Here they are back on attack.
Here's Duke Lacroix, finds Lindo Mafeka, winds up. They wanted a handball there. Does not get the whistle, though, from head referee Malik Badawi, and that was a big collision between Salgado, that I think San Jose is eager to get some time here in Reno, and he has certainly earned some big minutes here in his first season.
Comes from some great pedigree, too. Son of legend Benjamin Galindo.
Shot on goal, and Marcinkowski gets his finger.
We talk a lot about that back four wanting to prove something for the soccer team and what happened to them last match, giving up that late goal. Reno suffered from a couple losses from late goals. And on the other end of the coin, you look at what El Paso's done over the last three matches, scoring 2 of their 3 late game goal winners past the 90th minute. So, El Paso's kryptonite, or I should say Reno's kryptonite, is what El Paso's been doing well over the last 3 matches.
Yeah, it could be interesting towards the end of this match, if it is close, to see how those storylines kind of hold up. But you're right, El Paso has kind of had some late match magic lately, and winners of 4 of their last 5. One of the hottest teams in the circuit right now.
I think if you're Ian Russell, too, you're just trying to find some consistency, just holding leads late in games, and, heading into the playoffs, that's very key if this Reno squad wants to make a run.
Duke Lacroix trying to get involved. Swinging around. Some space for Brent Richards. Into Haji.
Look at Richards.
Haji plays it back out to Richards. Centers it. Mazowski was winding up, but it gets ricocheted away. Back out to Duke.
Just needed a little bit more space for Mazowski on that one, and he could have buried it.
Calvillo, seeing some open space there, decides to take a shot, but he gets...
Wonder what the Douglas Alley Renegades are saying out there to the goalkeeper after that.
I imagine on our Oktoberfest, they've had a little bit of a liquid courage all day today, probably a little more vocal than usual. Boy, there is a buzz in the ballpark tonight, though. This is one of the greatest crowds we have seen this season. Drums are banging loudly. from all over the place. Los Unicos. Headed by Herzog and just wide as Reno is that close to taking the lead.
It's his third shot in this match. He's really starting to heat up a little bit. You know that if he keeps putting shots close to goal, one's going to possibly go in for Corey Herzog.
Herzog, if you include the goals that he has scored in the USL postseason, he is the all-time leading scorer in USL history.
Yeah, I was talking to Corey about just signing for this soccer team and what Ian Russell pitched to him coming to Reno and telling him, hey, we score a lot of goals on this soccer club, and we would love to have you as that piece, especially with a guy like Brian Brown moving on past the team and Dane Kelly moving on. Corey's been just a staple for this forward and for the scoring on this team.
Pretty incredible how Ian Russell has been able to bring in these talented guys and see a lot of success. Talk about those guys that have had a ton of success with Dane Kelly and Brian Brown. Now it's Herzog and Mazovsky's turn. Here's Danny, sends it out wide to Richards. A little miscommunication there, and Reno will give it back as Nick Ross.
Now that Mazovsky's been back from injury.
Seen some amazing things on the offensive end by this team in 3 seasons. But one of the biggest moments was a couple weeks ago. Danny Mazovsky with 4 goals in Reno's 5-0 win over Tacoma. He had 4 goals and Dane Kelly and Brian Brown. But certainly that one is going to be etched in 1868 history for a very long time. And may not see that one come down for quite some time.
Yeah, 4 goals is, as we say in my land, sucio.
I have no idea what that means.
Filthy.
Filthy, huh?
Very filthy. Muy sucio.
Is it Italian?
No, Spanish.
Never know with you, man. Half Italian, half Mexican. Wasn't sure.
I should learn some more Italian. You know, that would really diversify my. What would that make? Trilingual?
Yeah. 22nd minute. Alongside Julian Delgadio, who's filling in today for Brian Slusser. I'm Alex Margulies. Hard to believe. Final regular season match of the season. Just 2 more to go for Reno on the road as they'll take on Las Vegas and Tulsa. And then perhaps, and more likely than not, hosting a playoff game the week after that in the first round as one of the top 4 teams. Reno may know by the end of the night if they are able to clinch. A lot of scenarios, too many scenarios to really even try and go into them all. But if Reno picks up 3 points here tonight, it would be very difficult for them not to host in that first round.
That's been quite a year for this soccer club. They've now in their 3rd year, and they've gone to the playoffs every single year so far. I know Coach Russell's trying to build off of that one playoff win last year. And they have the talent that can certainly do that. They just need to kind of buckle down. They've been in contention for 2nd place in the USL Western Conference. They're staring up at Fresno for that spot right now. And, you know, a win against this El Paso team that's coming off a win against Fresno would be huge.
Here's Duke Lacroix. And they'll blow.
DROIX? It sounds fancier, too.
It does. A little bougier.
Probably why it's so expensive now.
I drink like 3 of those a day.
A big Lacroix guy, huh?
Oh, yeah. Very refreshing. El Paso hasn't been on the attack in quite some time after that flurry early. Reno organizing here on defense. Not much El Paso could do there as Siad Haji will race it back the other way.
Yeah, they're really forcing it back there. It seems like they're playing a little bit tighter now. They were very loose to open up this match, and it seems like Reno's kind of figured them out a little bit. Maybe, I know it's still only 25 minutes in, but elevation potentially coming into play. Maybe the climate. I know that El Paso's warmer this time of year, but yeah, just not a good showing over that last offensive attack for El Paso.
They've got a big bullet in the gun still sitting on the bench in Jerome Ketterer.
Yeah, leads the team in goals, all inside the box. He's got 12 this year. 8 with his right foot, and he's played and started in 21 games, so it's pretty surprising to see that they would just put him on the bench like that. But, maybe he could be that spark plug in the second half that could propel this El Paso team over Reno.
Kiesewetter, excuse me, I had said Ketterer. Kiesewetter. And they have looked good on both sides here in this first half.
I want to go back to Kiesewetter. Born in Berlin, Germany, he's actually an active member of the U.S. men's national team. He's been that since 2011. He was on the U18 to 23 to the senior squad. And he's really trying to make a name for himself here in the States. He's done pretty well so far for the Locomotives.
All the way down to Mazovsky. A lot of white shirts to try and get past. He'll spin around. Try and get some help here.
Trying to open some lanes a little bit.
See how tightly packed El Paso is in the middle of the field.
Reno slowing things down again, pushing forward.
El Paso playing a flat 4-4-2. Reno also in their 4-4-2.
I was reading before the match, El Paso's head coach Mark Lowry believes that there are two things that create the greatest chance of winning. One is a higher percentage of possession and just running more than the opposition. We'll see how much running they'll do by the 90th minute, but it seems like their possession numbers are really dropping as this match has gone on.
Here comes Kevin Partita. He launches that one up into the outfield grass. In that possession category, Reno has had the advantage 58-42 thus far.
And that's got to jump a lot from how this started 10 minutes ago. So Reno, finding themselves on the pitch right now. That was an interesting wrap.
Off of Richards, and a throw-in now for El Paso. Get it into Sebastian Velasquez.
Oh, this could be trouble.
Salgado has Vasquez. Vasquez rejected away. Lacroix got his body in front of it. Cleared that time by Richards.
Plays into the narrative. The back four needs to step up in big moments like that. That ball got through. That's a big defensive shift there for Reno.
Another ball is centered. Nobody there. Finds James Kiffey. Kiffey lobs it in, headed and wide. But another dangerous attack there from El Sacramento, where he was a mainstay on that club for 4 seasons.
And he's got 4 assists so far this season. Looking for that 5th. It just went a little too wide.
So far, both teams 7 shots. 4 of El Paso's 7 shots have been on target.
Oh, look at that. He's got some space.
Duke Lacroix gets the corner. Lacroix trying to go top shelf. Not a bad try there. But these have been 2 teams that have been attack-minded. And it has been an exciting 30 minutes thus far.
I was expecting to see El Paso play a lot more counter like you were saying, just have force Reno to make a couple of mistakes and, find an opportunity where they could send the ball down the pitch. But like you said, just launching it left and right. And their goals, or not goals, but shots coming left and right over here.
Here's Eric Calvillo. 6th start of the year for Eric Calvillo, coming down from the San Jose Earthquakes, where he has appeared and started a couple of games for them this year.
Seems like he's coming in to replace Zach Carroll, former captain of this team.
Reno the takeaway into Siad Haji.
A little too much strength on that one, but the idea was there. You saw Brent Richards on the right was breaking. They could have held it a little bit longer, maybe, pushed some guys up and had a better chance at goal for that. But here we are, neck and neck, 0-0.
Here's James Kiffey coming up again from his fullback spot. El Paso organizing. Velasquez plays it wide. Salgado into the box. Swatted away by Marcinkowski as a point-blank opportunity there, that time for Alexi Bosetti.
Yeah, that's probably the best look that they've had all game long. Great stop by JT Marcinkowski. Bosetti kind of shocked.
Bosetti, one of the most experienced players on the pitch. Long-time first-team action with Nice in Ligue 1 in France. Was there for 7 seasons.
Yeah, 57 appearances, 10 goals in that league. Played for the OKC Energy as well. 19 appearances, 1 goal. He's found himself on El Paso.
Richards clears.
But Bosetti, 23 games played, 15 starts this year, 2 goals. He came in as a sub last game, so interesting to see him.
Taken away from Calvillo. Reno trying to race back. Salgado, had Bosetti, but he didn't see him.
Yeah, they hesitated on that.
Into Kiffey. Back out to Lindo Mafeka, who finds Eric Calvillo.
It's surprising, too. El Paso's been so good on the counterattack this season. Feels like a missed opportunity.
Here's Danny Mazovsky. Finds Siad Haji. Haji centers it. Oh! Just wide of the net.
He was looking for Danny. Would you say he was the most dangerous header on the team?
I think you'd have to say at this point, the way that he's been able to finish so many of those goals this year.
Haven't seen too many goals off a corner, though, for Reno 1868 at home this season, though.
I'd really say, honestly, over the 3 years, not a ton.
Not a ton. They practice it. But more success off rebounds and, shots inside the box.
4 defenders to get past for Calvillo. Trying to set something up for Duke.
And El Paso really pushed back right now.
Partita trying to find Danny, who's looking to hold that one up. It squirts away, but finds Siad Haji.
You have to think less than 10 minutes to go in this first half. Someone has to break through with all of these shots on goal and all these opportunities that have been created so far for both sides. Something's got to give.
Here's Lindo Mafeka. Decides to play it out to Haji.
Looking for Mazovsky again, just a little too high.
El Paso able to get it out. Look at the counter here. Left foot that time from Salgado. Way too much as he blasts.
Box. I mean, if he can control that, that is a very lethal shot. Especially for a guy that size.
Salgado has had experience with both the Mexican and the United States national teams at the under 20 level. MLS time with Vancouver as well as New York City. And you can see why he's had MLS time and time in those youth programs when you just look at him.
He also leads the team in shots, and it's shots like that that, you know, make you realize why. I mean, he's so powerful, and he's a lot bigger than a lot of these defenders that he goes up against. And, you know, some impressive work from him in the front so far. He's been very disruptive.
Nothing for Reno that time.
Gave it away. You and I have seen a lot of these Reno 1868 teams throughout the years. Would you say that this is the deepest roster that Ian Russell's working with and the healthiest that he's had, especially this late in the season?
Well, I think had been a little bit more health concerns lately, but I do think it has been a very deep team. Maybe deeper earlier this year when you were seeing more from Carroll and
still had Brian Brown,
but still a lot of weapons as Lindo just outside the box with his left foot almost connected. And a lot of weapons off the bench. Guys like Sam Gleedle, Raul Mendiola, Sepke Sipley.
All of those guys that have had key roles throughout this season, whether it be late goals, late assists, things that have propelled Reno to get 3 points instead of 1 or 0.
Shannon Kelly down on the sidelines, and she'll chat with head coach Ian Russell just after the first half.
Pulling her out of the bullpen. She's pretty famous for halftime interviews, you know.
Brian Slusser, not only commentator on these games, but he's the interim head coach of both the men's and women's program at TMCC, one of the local community colleges here in the area that actually is in its first season of existence, the Lizards, with the new program, and Slusser has been at the helm since just before the season.
Kind of expect them to potentially be a pipeline for this soccer club, especially getting some local action.
Salgado centers it, and Reno is able to get rid of it as Partita clears. Another chance here, and that one just wasted by El Paso. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the U.S. Championship, and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Less than 4 minutes to play here in regulation. See if somebody can break the ice before halftime.
That would be pretty big for, I think, either side.
When these two teams met earlier this year in El Paso in April, it was a scoreless first half. Eventually, El Paso coming out on the winning side of things with a goal in the second half on a penalty kick.
You think we see Logan Ketterer out here?
Cleared away. Calvillo. Wow. A lot of opportunities there.
That got through a lot of bodies. I mean, that was and that would be my luck too, calling out the corner kicks and then they score on the next corner kick.
Reno trying to steal it away the midfield. El Paso holds on to it.
Finally pressing again.
Here's Gomez. Velasquez. Lacroix slides in there. Finds Gomez, though.
Not out of the woods yet.
Mafeka clears it. Becky sends it back up to the offense, and a wasted chance there as it easily ends up into the hands of JT Marcinkowski. Possession still favoring Reno right now. They've got it a little bit more than 61% in this match now. Just 1 minute of stoppage time added here in this first half. See if Reno can do something here. Some space for Brent Richards. He's got Haji right in front of him. Well defended, though, by Diaz.
Reno's still attacking, though. And they've earned a throw-in.
Get it right into Haji. Mafeka fighting for it.
And just giving it away.
And that might be the last. And that's the whistle for the end of the first half, and we are scoreless. 0-0 here in downtown Reno. Put it into play. There's the whistle, and we are underway in the second 45 minutes as Reno will resume their offense and move that attack going towards the Battle-Born Brigade. Mafeka trying to get it in there, and it's cleared out by Reno coming in winners of 3 of their last 5. El Paso 4 of 5. So two teams overall been playing well here in the latter half of the season. I think both teams feel confident about where they're sitting in terms of the playoffs. Reno, of course, is in. I think if you're El Paso, they have to feel like they've done enough to get into the postseason right now with 45 points. But as I said, you get 3 here, and that really could cement them into the postseason.
I mean, not just that. You get 3 points against Fresno on Wednesday, 3 points against Reno. There's the 2 and 3 team in the USL West right there. If I was any other team, I would not want to play El Paso right now, but they have been very impressive so far down the stretch. I'm curious to see how they start this second half. When this game opened, they were very aggressive, had a couple shots near the goal in the first 10 minutes, and then they kind of settled down, settled in a little bit, and Reno kind of woke back up, but curious to see what this next 45 looks like.
Lindo Mafeka over there at Calvillo.
If you're Reno at this point, you lose to Real Monarchs in a late goal like that, potentially lose to El Paso. I mean, is it time to panic? I mean, we saw them about a month ago have that little 4-game skid, but, back to business, got back on that winning train and kind of solidified at least getting a home playoff match, barring, a win or a couple losses tonight.
Definitely don't think it's anything to panic about. I mean, it's a team right now that is in the postseason, and again, by the end of the night, could be a top 4 team hosting a playoff match. Certainly want to be playing your best soccer at the end of the season. But I think it's kind of tough to kind of have those dog days of the season, as you could say, like in baseball, where season's long, it's hard to and get to a USL championship game, and they feel like they've got enough on any given night to beat any team in the West. And I think when you look at the way they've played overall, I think you have to think that they could give themselves a chance against just about anybody.
Absolutely. I agree with that. It's just going to be an interesting to see, how well they could play against this El Paso team. And then you look at Phoenix Rising and what they've done in the USL West this season, and, all of an 18, 19-game winning streak that they went on, finally falling to Fresno a couple of weeks ago. That's really the three-headed monster, I think, coming out of the West.
Broken up that time by Janjigi, and Reno doing a great job possessing here to start this second half, something they excelled at in that first half.
Janjigi, another guy who's been around since the inaugural season, spent some time with San Jose, finding his way back up to Northern Nevada. Nice to see him develop over the last couple of years.
Making his 40th career start in the USL tonight. Calvillo and Lacroix trying to put something together, but Diaz able to get back. Reno's still sitting about 61% when it comes to that possession. El Paso not nearly as aggressive as we saw from them out of the gates in that first half, as you said a few moments ago. Still kind of finding their footing here in this second half, playing much more on the defensive side of things, sitting back a little bit more, and that's kind of how we thought they might start this match, but as the game's gone on, they've kind of more been on that side of things.
Yeah, I was expecting to see El Paso play more counter. I think Reno's a very aggressive team overall. They like to put up points early. They like to press forward a lot in their formation, and they weren't doing that at first. And now it appears that they're just trying to get the ball. But, Reno just wants to establish a little bit more dominance, I think, in the scoring half for them.
See what El Paso can do with this. Gomez winds up. Easy for Marcinkowski, who plays it off a hop.
I think Gomez could have taken that a couple steps further, maybe get a little bit closer to the box and then let that loose, but here we are deadlocked.
.52 minute here at Greater Nevada Fields. Here comes a run from El Paso. Trying to get it in there to Velasquez, and just out of his reach as Marcinkowski is able to pounce on it. Brent Richards leads the charge on the right side. Finds Haji, gets it into Mazovsky, and couldn't keep it in front of him.
It's the guy you want to get it to in the box, though. Just a little too much.
A lot of space right now for El Paso on the offensive side of things as Janjigi is able to cut off Gomez this time. Not sure Reno wants to let them have that space to run in the middle of the field. That can spell trouble.
We heard a lot about Salgado in the first half. Gomez, though, is a big scorer on this team, second on El Paso for goals scored so far this season. And, he's starting to warm up here in the second half. Something's got to give at some point.
Here's Drew Becky coming up from his center back spot. Trying to slot one in there for Salgado, but it goes right to Janjigian. Here's Kevin Partita trying to go through the teeth of the defense. Partita into Mazovsky. Calvillo blasts it off of the hands of Ketterer.
I love the pacing of that. Mazovsky did not panic. He knew exactly where he wanted to give that ball. Great block.
More outstanding goalkeeping from Ketterer. Working on his 12th clean sheet of the year. He's tied for third in the USL. That was a hard collision. Neither team has gone to a substitution until now, as Raul Mendiola checks in for Siad Haji.
And Mendiola is one of those other dangerous forwards that Reno has in their back pocket. Spent some time in Las Vegas last year, midfielder, excuse me. But, this is a guy who's pretty shifty. He's small, but he's elusive. And I think that's pretty big at this point in the game. Some fresh legs, and maybe they can crack through with Mendiola.
Lindo Mafeka gets it out to Duke Lacroix. Lacroix still fighting and earns a corner. Nice job there by Duke Lacroix. As opportunity in the first half. Reno couldn't capitalize. Serves that one, headed and defended well by El Paso. As Reno almost gets through here in the 56th minute. What a job there to get back on defense is Guillermo Diaz.
And here's Mendiola trying to set that up again, but two quality chances over the last 5 minutes for Reno, 1868. That substitution pretty big by putting Mendiola back in there, but no dice.
Reno continuing to press high up the field. Good move that time by Velasquez. He's got some help. Just outside the box, and Marcinkowski able to ricochet that one away. Headed. Marcinkowski's all over it.
This is a title fight. Not a playoff match, but, this is just impressive. Back and forth. Balls flying everywhere. What a great stop by JT Marcinkowski.
A highlight reel kind of night for JT as he keeps it 0-0 here in the 58th minute.
$25 total shots in the game. It's like they're playing FIFA out there.
Very offensive-minded game. Neither team, though, has anything to show for it. See what Danny Mazovsky can do. Back to Lindo. Mendiola has his pocket picked. They'll get it out to Velasquez, who's being swarmed, and he'll keep possession for El Paso.
A lot of white jerseys around Mendiola on that one. Had an opportunity. Looks like El Paso's going to get the ball, though.
From OKC, and a win tonight in order to clinch a first-round playoff match today. They would love to have that wrapped up here this evening on their final home match of the season.
Can't believe we already made it to the final home match of the regular season for this soccer team. 3 years in now in the biggest little city. And, boy, time just flies.
It's kind of crazy. The season feels like forever, and it feels like it's gone by so quickly all at the same time. Here's Duke Lacroix trying to get that corner. Gets to the edge.
Nice move.
Lacroix able to center it. Nobody there to connect on it, though. Another disruptive run that time, though, by Duke Lacroix.
He just wasn't in the right position. The ball just things didn't add up. Back on the attack, though, quickly.
Herzog gets twisted up. James Kiffey takes it out for El Paso. Over to Diaz. Now Sebastian Velasquez. Gets away from Kevin Partita. Good organization here from El Paso.
A lot of hands in that.
Some space now for Bosetti. Fires it. Just past the outstretched arms of JT Marcinkowski. Marcinkowski able to wrestle that one away from Andrew Fox, who is getting very close to that one.
Marcinkowski's been fantastic in this match.
Here comes Danny Mazovsky. A lot of white shirts to get through.
Not a lot of help.
Reno being a little cautious right now, not sending too many players forward. Both teams, I think, have backed off just a little bit when it comes to the aggressiveness on the offensive end in this second half.
Yeah, I mean, 60 minutes in, we've seen more than 25 shots already. You have to expect the defense getting a little tired out there on both ends. Especially elevation potentially playing a factor for El Paso.
.63 minute, reaching down at his left foot. See Lindo going to hit hobbling a little bit at the top of the screen.
He's been so steady for this roster, too. Oh, this is...
Calvillo earns Reno a corner kick. He was trying to center it. Mafeka. Partita races in there. Keeps it for Reno.
Oh, a little too much on that one.
Great effort, though, by Kevin Partita. Going all out to save that one for 1868. Janjigian is able to break up Salgado. And that was a big defensive play by him, getting back in front of that one, as Salgado nearly had an opportunity for a one-on-one in front of JT Marcinkowski. Mazovsky. Good opportunity there, but too much. Chance here for El Paso as Velasquez makes a move down the middle of the field. Ross comes up. Back into Velasquez. Danger. Knocked away by Marcinkowski as Gomez put another shot on goal.
And he is just a dangerous Marcinkowski once again. Playing very good soccer.
A mistake-free night so far for JT.
Looking for his 9th clean sheet, potentially.
8 in his career. He had 5 last year, 3 here in his sophomore season.
I want to go back to that substitution that El Paso had. Luis Herrera, actually a local kid who was signed back in January. He's from El Paso. And love seeing those types of stories, you know, growing up in the area and getting picked up by a team that you know, close to home. Have family come out.
Well, it'll be cool to see as the USL continues to grow, is seeing more and more people now, like in Reno, kids that are teenagers now that are coming to watch Reno 1868, and some guys that may eventually suit up for this franchise as the years go on. And we've already seen one of those stories here with Kevin Partita from Sparks. Actually took Sparks High School to the state championship in 2012.
Went to UNLV. And you talked about this earlier, too, the community college, TMCC, starting with the soccer team.
Richards into Mazovsky. That's been the bread and butter here in the last couple of weeks, and just wide this time.
He is so dangerous on the header, and it's just a couple inches to the right of that goalpost. Reno's knocking, though.
Here's Salgado. Salgado wants that one back.
Shots outside of the box. I don't think you see that too often with teams.
Final playoff sponsor at stake. October 9th, Wednesday Night Soccer returns to ESPN News. Tune in at 5 o'clock. Birmingham fights for the last spot in the East, while upset-minded Hartford looks to crush those hopes in front of the hometown faithful. Catch all the drama unfold Wednesday, October 9th at 5 o'clock on ESPN News. 69th minute here in downtown Reno. 0-0. In the second match between these two Western Conference foes this year. El Paso with a second-half goal on a penalty kick back in April. Took the first match this year. Both teams still trying to find that first goal here into this second half. And what overall has been a very tense and exciting match between these two.
Playoff-like.
No doubt. Reno gives it away at midfield. Chance here for El Paso. Velasquez gets through the defense. Dumps it off. Back to Velasquez. And Reno closes very well that time as Partita.
At the end of that, but really impressive stuff from El Paso right there.
Check on that score between OC and OKC. And that match is still 0-0, 24th minute. Some other Western Conference scores. Phoenix and Portland are tied at 1. That one in the 25th. Portland just able to even it up against the Rising. New Mexico and RGV are tied at 1 apiece at halftime.
Gave it away. Had a lot of bodies pressed forward. Now let's see how El Paso does on the counter.
Here's Salgado again. Reno is able to get back on defense. Here's Yuma. Velasquez again. Directing traffic.
I'm going to try to cross it. Off the head of Brent Richards.
Velasquez takes a shot and just wide. Sebastian.
Just a little to the right. Excellent strike right there. 4 jerseys around him. Still gets that ball through. Water's boiling.
El Paso takes it away again in the midfield. Reno tries to win it back, but a whistle down. So Reno's made a couple of substitutions now with both Fuentes, the teenager, the 17-year-olds, appearing now in his 9th game this season. One of the young stars in the United States who made his MLS debut last year as a 16-year-old.
Yeah, the second youngest player to do that. It's amazing how young he is and the level of play that he's at so far. And that's why he's here in the USL. Develop a little bit more, spend a couple of years here, and then I'm sure we'll be hearing his name in the MLS in no time.
Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Alongside Julian Delgadio, who fills in tonight for Brian Slusser, I'm Alex Margulies. About 17 minutes left here in regulation in a 0-0 game between Reno and El Paso. Both fighting for important points here in the third to last match of the season for Reno 1868. El Paso will play 3 more after tonight, 2 of which will take place at home at Southwest University Park in El Paso.
What a beautiful stadium that is.
Incredible.
We had a chance to go there a couple weeks ago.
Salgado.
Too much.
Trying to connect with Gomez. Those two have paired nicely tonight. They've been pesky. But so far, Reno's defense able to hold up and put together a clean sheet. Had a chance to visit El Paso a couple weeks ago. University of Nevada playing UTEP. You're right, we were right across the street from that park. I've been there for a baseball game. Have yet to see soccer, but one of the nicest stadiums in the country.
Yeah. Definitely in the USL.
Wow. Richards into the box. Some contact.
Back in high school. Messy.
Not a good look. On Fuentes, yes. You, no.
No, not good.
Calvillo. Last touch this time by El Paso. Another corner.
And here's Mendiola.
Raul. Nation's capital. Beautiful city. Reno possession now here in the 77th minute. Reno has not played to a draw. You look back, it has not happened since May the 8th on Wednesday.
Yeah, he is their most dangerous player. Guy, I'm actually really excited to see what he can do on the pitch. He's been very stable for them, and he's trying to make a name for himself in the USL to potentially get some time back up in the MLS. I want to go back to something you were saying. The last time Reno was actually held scoreless was against El Paso back in April.
That's crazy to think.
So through all the wins and draws and ties, they've at least put something on the board. Being held scoreless.
Still a lot of time for something to happen.
El Paso in good company with Phoenix Rising, though.
Here's Kiesewetter. Trying to play it wide, and too much on that pass. Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest levels across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. 80th minute, 0-0 between two teams. Postseason in just a couple of weeks.
It's been a great soccer match.
Here's Duke Lacroix.
we are in October, and I'm a big fan of October baseball. I have to say a 0-0 game, 80th minute, this late in the soccer season, kind of equates to that.
Things starting to tighten up a little bit this time of year. Here's Danny Mazovsky. Gets himself some space. No in center there, and cleared away by El Paso.
It's incredible how 7 to 8 guys in there anytime Reno gets in striking distance. And maybe that's the formula to keeping Reno off the board.
Here's Kiesewetter. Now to Velasquez. Trying to get through the Reno defense. Salgado. Kiesewetter was there. Salgado's pass wasn't quite there, though.
The idea was there. A lot of blue bodies around, but they were moving the ball well.
El Paso races back to get in position on defense.
Mm-hmm. They're not pressing forward a lot right now. It seems like they're okay with this ending at a 0-0 score. I mean, look how many guys rush to the box anytime Reno gets in striking distance of it. Got 6 guys right there. 8 the last time Reno had a shot.
I think you're right. I mean, on their offensive chances, being a little cautious, not trying to send too many bodies forward, and if they do, making sure they're getting back very, very quickly. Kiesewetter able to get him away. Or excuse me, that was Salgado.
But Kiesewetter is such a good scorer. I mean, you send him forward with 2 midfielders or another striker. That's all El Paso really needs at this point.
Chance here for El Paso. Salgado trying to time it up with Kiesewetter. Cleared out by Richards. Mendiola clears that one. El Paso loads up again. Look at the effort there for Reno to keep possession.
Mazovsky's still down, though.
Here comes Duke Lacroix. Nice try there from Duke, and a great job on defense by Drew Becky, getting back to clear
legs and try to create a couple more chances to maybe break the ice and finally get that goal.
Stolen away. Was a yellow card there, by the way, to Guillermo Diaz. Janjigian steps up.
Getting a little overzealous on that pass.
Able to find Mendiola. Calvillo is trying to get it over to Kasipli, and it went too much. Want to remind you the final playoff sponsor at stake October 9th when Wednesday Night Soccer returns to ESPN News. Tune in at 5 o'clock as Birmingham fights for the last spot in the East, while upset-minded Hartford looks to crush those hopes in front of their home faithful. Catch it all unfold Wednesday, October 9th at 5 o'clock on ESPN News. A lot of big matches on tap here in the final couple of weeks.
You go back to that match in June, that was the last time Reno was held scoreless at home. And that was the only match that they were held scoreless at home.
Here's Velasquez. He's been a catalyst oftentimes tonight to start that El Paso offense. Good takeaway there by Richards and then Mendiola.
I believe that would be stealing his cookies.
Here's Mendiola. Tried to get it in there for Fuentes and couldn't quite time it up as Yuma clears it back out to midfield. Reno's got to hustle back on defense. Here comes Salgado. Salgado trying to get himself another opportunity, and he just runs out of gas. You can see he is spent.
Lindo got beaten on that one. He's lucky to have a couple more.
He's slow to get up
bodies.
still. Here's Herzog. Seth Kasimpli just checked in. He's got fresh legs.
And boy, can he create some chances.
Look at all that space for Kasimpli. Oh, gee, this year for El Paso, that's been their calling card as their defense. A unit that has only allowed 37 goals this year, now into their 32nd match. A little over one.
He thrived the past couple of games. Those late walk-off goals, and on the other end of the coin, Reno suffered a couple losses this year, late in games.
Reno trying to
defense,
trying to jumpstart the counterattack. Mazovsky knifing his way through the defense, and a win.
We've been seeing all game long. El Paso just had an opportunity with the set piece, and here's Reno.
Here's Duke Lacroix. Back to Kasimpli. Look how tightly packed in that El Paso defense is. Now it is stoppage time. Into Mazovsky. 3 minutes added. And we'll see if somebody can break the ice and come away with 3 points.
And here's Kasimpli again trying to create that chance. Look at that. El Paso, 6 guys in the box. May have added another 2 after that pass. Just loading it up. And Reno can't do much.
Once again, it's Mendiola trying to find Mazovsky. And El Paso able to break that one up.
Had 3 guys surrounding Mazovsky. I'm impressed that it even got to his foot.
Another chance for Reno. This time it's Richards. Richards looking for either Mazovsky or Herzog. Ketterer, though, able to get the loose ball. About halfway through our stoppage time. Here's Mazovsky. And what a job there defensively by El Paso. We'll see if they go to him here in what should be the final possession of this match. Janjigian wins the header. And now it's a throw. The final say here. Finds Mendiola. Mazovsky. And that might just do it. Play continues for now. Here's Salgado. Salgado again.